Hello and welcome to World Talks on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. On the 20th to the 24th of January, nearly 3,000 leaders from around the world gathered in Davos to set new directions for cooperation in the face of global challenges. The meeting comes at a time when the level of global uncertainty is greater than ever, driven by geopolitical tensions, economic fragmentation, and accelerating climate change, said Børge Brende, President and CEO of the World Economic Forum, announcing the event. Well, to explore the main challenges being faced globally, we are joined by Aleksandra Karasińska. She's director at Ringer Axel Springer Poland Foundation, and who has just returned from Davos and a regular guest. Aleksandra, welcome back to TVP World. Thanks for taking the time on this Sunday.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Good to have you. So, tell us, share with us, please, your main takeaways from Davos.
Well, I have to admit that I've been already in Davos, and this forum was particularly important because it was in the shadow of inauguration of President Trump. And I have to admit that all the talks were really focused around the US new policy and new administration approach. So there was a lot of talk what kind of policy it's gonna be. And President-elect Trump already joined us in Davos online only this time, but he spoke to the participants, and we already have some clues. So we understand that Trump policy will be much more transactional because he is a businessman to the core. So he wants to basically cut a best deal for himself. And there was a lot of talk in Davos about this new Make America Great Again protectionism, America First industrial policy, and what it means for Europe.
And what does it mean? What are the thoughts? What does that mean for Europe?
Well, there is a worry because, Davos for almost moreover 3 decades is a kind of mecca for globalists. So people, leaders, business people, politicians who believe that globalization, cooperation, multilateralism is gonna make world a better place, like more peaceful, more based on cooperation and also welfare. So everybody wins and the world is developing in a peaceful, more predictable way. Now the reality is that this new approach, very much nationalistic, very much isolationist, means that the world, I'm afraid, will be more predictable. And this potential tariff war is a bad news for everyone. Nobody wins it. All economics professors and experts says nobody wins tariff wars. So there was a lot of anxiety and a lot of discussions how to approach this policy. But I really loved, I had a chance to talk to Director General of WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and she said to me, we have to chill down, take a deep breath and focus. So her message was, don't panic, stay focused, do your job.
Don't panic, stay focused. Okay, perhaps good advice. Now, in your recent Forbes article, you use the phrase equality moonshot. It's a program that you're involved with at Davos. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I was taking part in the World Women Davos Agenda Conference. It's a new edition of this conference. It's a conference where the global leaders, female leaders mostly, gather from Africa, Asia, Americas and Europe, and we discuss the progress of women's rights and feminism, and especially economic situation of women globally. So it was very interesting to see global leaders, prime ministers, ex-prime ministers, also people like Director General of WTO, but also journalists like Moira Forbes, who is a founder of Forbes Women and Vice President of Forbes Corporation. So we discussed where we are and how to speed up the progress. So I really enjoy it. And I think even in the times when the equality, diversity and inclusion policies undermined in the American administration, I think we really have to take advice of Dr. Ngozi and stay focused, do our job.
Understood. Now, zooming out a little bit, Aleksandra, what was the general consensus? What were some thoughts that were being shared with regard to Russia's aggression in the region?
Well, there was actually a lot of discussions about it, and some people, especially from US, and also I met Ukrainian general. They have a hope that really Trump administration will want to make a deal as soon as possible, because Trump wants to have this impact and very quick gain as a new president. So he will push forward with this agenda. As you probably know, he wants to drive global oil price down, which will add additional pressure on the Russian economy. But as we discussed this policy in Davos, it seems actually very complicated and difficult, because the OPEC country already slowed down the growth of production, and when we hear the producers in inside United States, there is not much actually, there is not a lot of success, because actually the shale gas producers say they don't want to grow production. They want to have higher prices because the production is become much more expensive.
Right.
So American, America will be a growth, but more on gas than in oil.
Understood. Well, as you say, President Trump is transactional, and this may simply be his starting position, and we'll see how that evolves. Now, of course, another area which I know has been discussed in detail at Davos was the area of artificial intelligence. A recent report talked about Poland actually lagging behind in the use of AI in business. What can you share about the discussions on that topic at Davos?
We see totally different approach to developing and implementing AI in US and Europe right now. And it's gonna be a problem for European Commission and American government to come to terms with it, because we see obviously that European Union is ready to regulate the new technology, so it will be safe for our citizens. And we have AI Act ready. The act is very, clear about the rules, that the technology should not harm users, and that the providers or companies that are using these tools should be responsible. On the other hand, in American government and business top circles, there is this approach of deregulation. So let's make this technology grow and drive the American economy, and basically forget about the consequences. So I'm afraid this will be the point of negotiation, and actually a difficult one. On the other hand, when we look at the Draghi report that was very highly discussed this year, we see that the European Union wants to deregulate, but I don't think this is the area when the deregulation will take place.
Understood. So regulation is one part of that picture, but the other is things like education, information on artificial intelligence and how it can be leveraged in order to streamline business processes. Were there any conversations around that?
Yes, there was. Actually, there was AI House. It's an institution that has a long tradition in Davos already. And Poland actually was a host of this year's conference. So several politicians from Polish government took place, including Vice Prime Minister Gawkowski. And there was a gathering of top leaders of this technology. And I think the Polish government also, when it talks about new policy, Polish presidency policy, they mention security first. Yes, security Europe is our claim. But when you talk to government about what it means this security policy, there is the part where new technology is very important. So implementing cybersecurity, hybrid war, it's all about using and implementing new technology. So I hope at least that Polish officials and Polish government will be focusing on education and implementation of new techniques and new technologies during not only this 6 months, but in the longer term.
Understood. Now, in the last few seconds that we have left, Aleksandra, climate change, I'm sure, was a big topic of discussion. What were the main takeaways on that?
I remember Ursula von der Leyen, head of European Commission, said that Europe is committed to Paris Agreement, no matter what Donald Trump does. And she underlined that Europe is committed and open to talk and work with any country in the world that wants to fight global warming and climate change. And, there were several conferences on that topic in the main Davos conference. One of them was Safeguarding the Planet. And there were always also talks about, how to capture carbon, how to use water, how to cooperate. I think also China is very much like strong player with very generous with subsidies in the green sector. Even if many experts says that it can't be stopped, that the green transition cannot be stopped, too much was invested in it. And Trump administration will last 4 years, but we have to remember in 2 years we will have another election in United States, midterms. So as far as we know, the quote, advice from Dr. Ngozi still holds. I mean, we shouldn't panic about it.
Let's not panic. Yes, wise words indeed. Aleksandra Karasińska, thank you very much, as always, for sharing your insights and analysis with our audience. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Goodbye.